1 year ago, we had the idea for the big tent. 13 years ago, we started the Kansas Leadership Center. 14 years ago, the Kansas Health Foundation made a commitment to provide the resources so the center could be created. 15 years ago, Steve Cohen took a sabbatical to dream and imagine what a leadership center for the state could look like and feel like, what it could do for the people of Kansas. 25 years ago, then President and CEO of the Kansas Health Foundation, Marnie Vliet, jotted a note in her daytimer that what the state really needed is a leadership center. 35 years ago, a fellow named Don Stewart had an idea to sell a hospital, creating a foundation that someday would decide to invest in something like this. 107 years ago, a group of Kansans living in this community who wanted a healthier, stronger community worked together to build a hospital, having no idea that someday we would be gathered, the beneficiaries of their hard work, with the responsibility to continue that work forward in the way that we have been. We want to celebrate the gifts of all these people and all the other people who've made what we're talking about tonight possible. Tonight is, it's kind of our version of an annual meeting. It won't be boring, we hope. It's our version of acting experimentally. We've never done this before, so you'll have to let us know how it goes. But we've had a belief that the whole of KLC, and by KLC, that's us. That's us. It's not people who work here. It's all of us. We've had a belief that the whole of KLC is greater than the sum of the parts. And we think what happened today, different people meeting throughout this building and beyond, and this celebration tonight is a way to bring that whole to fruition. It's about us, the collective us. And it seems only fitting to begin talking about the idea of us and what we've all created by thinking about an individual who should be here tonight. And I'd like you to raise your hand if you knew Thomas Stanley. Okay. Thomas lived the ideas of KLC more than anybody else. And it was just natural to him. And he grew up here. He started working at KLC right after he graduated. And he is as much a part of KLC as anybody could be a part of KLC. And he was so excited for this event tonight. He was so excited. All of those of you who are here throughout the day, all of the meetings that took place as a part of the Big Tent, almost all of those things were meant to happen at some point in the fall anyway. And we had this idea of putting them all on the same day. And when I have a crazy idea like that, Thomas was always the first person I went to. And he was so excited because he got it. It'll create the whole. We'll see the whole. We're so blessed to have Ashley with us tonight. And we've tried to make sure that Ashley knows and the kids know that the Kansas Leadership Center family is part of your family forevermore, whether you like it or not. I want you all to know about a fund that we've created, the Stanley Children's Fund. And we'd love for you to help us make sure that these children know that what their dad helped create is going to be there for them and help them and support them forevermore. So if you'd like more information, please tell us. I'd love to not have a moment of silence for our friend Thomas, but I'd love to have a moment of celebration. And I want to do this because I want Ashley, and we're recording this, her kids will see this someday, and their extended family will see this, and their grandkids will see this someday. I want them to understand what Thomas meant to this idea of KLC. I don't think a moment of silence does it justice. So could you please join me in a moment of celebration for Thomas Stanley and the life that Ashley and Thomas created that we have all been the beneficiaries of. Please help me celebrate our friend Thomas. Let's have fun tonight. Thomas would want us to have fun, okay? He would want us to enjoy this. He'd want us to celebrate, and he'd want us to challenge ourselves to do even more. A lot of people who are part of this amazing thing called the Kansas Leadership Center, and a group that's often behind the scenes that you don't get to see as much is the board of directors. And we've kind of garrisoned them off over here in the front, which does feel more weird now that I see you all here. So I just want to acknowledge that we'll sprinkle you next time. But you meet the faculty, you meet the staff, you meet people like Thomas when you come to KLC. You don't often get to meet the board that is as engaged and as involved as all the others that you get to meet. So I want to thank you all for being here tonight and being a part of the idea of KLC as well. Tonight, we're going to share a lot of things and get you talking and get some information from you, but I want to warm you up first. And we put a graphic up here next that really is kind of a quick way to understand the idea of KLC. Right? So 13 years ago, we didn't know what we were doing. Right? We didn't really know what we were doing. But we knew that this was kind of the approach of most leadership development efforts. For the select few who are already at the top or who are on their way to being at the top. And we just intuitively, listening to Kansans, following the lead of the Kansas Health Foundation, we intuitively knew what we needed to create something that was more like this. That was about large-scale, mass-scale leadership development for a stronger, healthier Kansas. So your warm-up question is just simply, what does it feel like to be a part of something like this? Something that's focused on this. What's it feel like for you versus something like this? What's it feel like? We just want to get your voice. We want all the voices in the room. We just want you to meet people around you. We want you to turn for a few minutes and chat and say hello and just describe, what does it feel like to be a part of something that has this orientation rather than this orientation? Take a few minutes of chatter, and then we'll be warmed up, and we'll get on with the evening. Go for it.